Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Elijah. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. So for those who sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And Elijah wanted me to look at my boss's daughter. Not his actual boss's daughter. That'd be, but yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't even know the bitch. But the movie from 2003, which gets a 4.7 out of 10 IMDb. I could kind of see why after watching it. Because it's directed by David Zucker. And David Zucker, he's done stuff I've liked. The Naked Gun, one of the directors for Airplane. But then he also worked in some of those later scary movie films. And while this movie isn't as bad as... I don't even know who directed Scary Movie 5. I think he did at least Scary Movie 3 and 4, I think. Anyway, maybe it's not as bad as those, but this, I didn't think was that good of a comedy. And it's got a cast that I don't mind. Ashton Kutcher. I don't know what the guy does personally. I don't have any feelings about him personally. I don't know all the details about certain things that's been said about him. I don't know. As an actor, do I mind him? No. I know a lot of people don't like him as an actor. I like him in The Butterfly Effect. Dude, Where's My Car? I thought was pretty funny. I didn't watch a whole lot of that 70s show. That 70s show. He kind of like went away. Like, you don't really see him in movies anymore. I mean, I can't even remember the last film he was in, so I think he went into other types of business. But yeah, I can't even remember the last film he was in. But I mean, I don't mind him. Tara Reid. She did better here than in, what was it? Alone in the Dark? Because they try to make her seem like a damn scientist. She fit a bit better here. I actually didn't mind her chemistry with Ashton Kutcher. I know the Razzies, they were nominated for Worst Screen Couple. I'm like, I don't know, there's a lot worse things about the film than their chemistry. Terence Stamp, I thought he was the best thing in the film. He played the boss. I kind of wish he was in the film more. Because I think early on, I kind of had a little bit of hope because he was... I thought he was actually pretty damn funny. With some of his unpiecings, he would say... I'm like, okay, some of this is a bit gold. How he's acting. Like, Terence Stamp as this evil boss in a comedy just works. Of course, Terence Stamp, Zod from the older... Superman 2. Kneel before Zod. He plays Ashton Kutcher's boss and Tara Reid's father. Molly Shannon is in the film. She was in SNL for quite a few years. In films like Superstar. She plays a worker that gets fired because of the crappy coffee she was making. Andy Richter, mostly known for being Conan's sidekick, Conan O'Brien. Didn't mind him. He plays Terence Stamp's estranged son. Michael Madsen is in the film. Tyler Labine, who I remember from Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, he's in the film. Carmen Electra, Kenan Thompson, Dave Foley. Was it John Abrams? So a lot of recognizable people in this. Now, the setup of the film is... Ashton Kutcher is his researcher for his publishing company in Chicago, but one day he would like to make a book of his own. And his co-workers are John Abrams and Dave Foley. They are not in the film much. They're only in the beginning of the film, then you never see them again. And one thing leads to another. When he gets to work, the other guys know he's a fan of Tara Reid. He has a crush on her. he has a bit of a one-on-one meeting with Terence Stamp, where during that meeting, Molly Shannon gets fired. Kutcher talks with Tara Reid. She talks about this party and says, hey, could you meet me at my place, which is her dad's place. So Ashton Kutcher says yes, and he's thinking it's going to be this big date. Don't get together, then go to the party. But unbeknownst to him, being a little bit of a simp, he soon realizes that instead he's been roped into watching Terence Stamp's owl to being a house sitter. Tara Reid's going to go with her boyfriend to this party, while Ashton Kutcher's supposed to help this owl, watch this owl for the night or however long it is. And then the rest of the film takes place at this house where people go in and out and crazy shenanigans happen. And you know what? That setup could work. You're a house sitter for your boss, and all these weird people keep coming in and out, and you're trying to ease the destruction and figure out what to do next. But the shit that happens just wasn't that funny. It just wasn't that great of a script. The concepts just weren't really that fun. And it kind of I had a bit of a warning sign early on when he's on the subway. There's Tara Reid. Dave Foley and John Abrams goes, hey, why don't you go talk to her? So he goes over, and then kind of the most laziest type of jokes where, for example, he sits next to a woman with a baby, the subway stops, he falls into her tits. Or he stands up and the baby or the kid throws some stuff so it looks like he pissed his pants. Or he sits down again and a blind woman's dog, the dog sniffing at his crotch. And instead of saying, hey lady, your dog is messing with my pants, can you ease back? No, we can't say anything because I guess that would defeat the joke. Or his briefcase falls open and there's a magazine, which is a wrestling magazine, but it makes Tara Reid think he's gay. Instead of just simply going, oh yeah, I have some stuff for the wrestling stuff. Like simply explaining, no, we can't do that because I guess that would defeat the joke. Now again, Terence Stamp I thought was pretty hilarious in the early days, just how mean and cruel he is. Okay. He says a certain word starting with re and then tar, then dead. I was going to say the word, but I'm sure some people, they wouldn't like me saying the word. Basically, are you... It's like, it's not a rhetorical question. I'm asking, are you in that word? And just how he says it, just easy going for him. And just something I never would hear Terence Stamp saying. I will say it did make me laugh. It did make me laugh. I almost want to see a whole film with just Terence Stamp and his perspective as this boss. Just kind of like Bad Santa, but with Terence Stamp. Instead of... that's the thing. I kind of want to see his perspective. Just how he treats everybody in this fucking place he works at. And he's bossing people around and just idea of being as un-PC as possible. And just that deadpan manner that he does it. I'm like, can't the whole movie be about him, man? Oh, when Ashton Kutcher comes over and he says, is that a bear trap? And deadpan Terence Stamp goes, yep, let's keep the neighbor kids out of my yard. And he did do that. Like, Terence Stamp can work well with comedy, with that deadpan nature, that serious nature. He has the right voice for it. It really worked. Or when he tells Ashton that his owl is named OJ. And then Ashton's like, the murderer? He's like, no, the football player. I did absolutely go, okay, like, there's some hiccups here, but I'm kind of enjoying myself. I said, I don't hate Ashton Kutcher. If you do hate him, this isn't going to change your mind. But I don't think he's so wild and crazy like some clips I've seen of that '70s show. It's definitely a bit more toned down, Ashton Kutcher. Some may say that was a bit boring. I didn't mind seeing a more subdued Ashton Kutcher, though. Andy Richter, I didn't mind him. But, I mean, I don't mind him in general. He comes over, says, hey, I'm Terence Stamp's son. And granted, it's a bit weird they did that Andy Richter would be Terence Stamp's son because they're so different. But it's like, okay, you just go with it. And he talks about, man, I boned Kirstie Alley's maid and all this stuff. I would say things kind of turned to shit for me was Molly Shannon comes over with her boyfriend, Tyler Labine. Again, I like Tyler Labine. Again, I love Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And here he's playing kind of a... I want to say kind of like a biker type of guy. Got a bit tattoos, short hair. Him and Molly Shannon start getting into a fight. She says he has a small dick. He takes offense to that. I'll show it right now. So, like, Tyler Bean was kind of funny. But Molly Shannon, and maybe that's why my body burped. Sorry about that. Because I don't mind her in other films, but she just was really annoying to me in this. Her character's really annoying. I kind of wish her character was not in the movie. She acts like, hey, you got me fired, so you need to do this or that. I'm sitting there going, no, I don't need to do jack shit. This ain't my house. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, you want me to do something for you? I don't know, get you a gift card. Get the fuck out. You want to, fine, you come to my house then. Not now. But this ain't my house, so you get the fuck out. That's what I would have said, and that's what he should have said, but he didn't because he's a bit of a pushover, a bit of a pussy. But she just annoyed the hell out of me. And the jokes were not really that funny as it goes on. Oh, Andy Richter is expecting a package. It's a package of drugs. So it was in the toilet and stuff. The owl, he's out of it because he hasn't gotten his medication. So Ashton picks up, you can tell it's a toy, but it's supposed to be a stiff owl. Dumps it a bit in the toilet. Now the owl is fine. But it's on drugs, so now it can fly because it originally couldn't fly, but now it can fly. It escapes. So a bit of the movie is him trying to get the owl back. Michael Madsen comes in wanting the package. Ashton Kutcher doesn't know it's a package of drugs. He also doesn't know that Andy Richter has changed it. It's actually flour. Gives it to Michael Madsen. Madsen leaves. Later on, he comes back wondering where the real drugs are at. Ashton, of course, doesn't know what's going on. A couple of Molly Shannon's buddies come over, about 3 of them or so. One of them is Carmen Electra. One of them is, I recognize the guy. He's been in a lot of stuff. I think he was the sports anchorman on Anchorman. He was the pilot in States on a Plane. You've seen him in a bunch of stuff. And he's in there being a little bit conspiracy theorist going, you know who killed JFK? Desi Arnaz. Eventually Tara Reid comes back because her boyfriend was cheating on her. They're trying to get some mice that ran away that was supposed to be food for the owl. Tara and Ashton bond because at first she thinks he's gay. Then eventually he says, no, I'm not. Michael Madsen comes in wanting the drugs, tries to open the safe. Ashton gets a gun. What are you doing? Michael Madsen goes, and pulls out his dick. Thankfully, we don't see it. You have your gun, I have mine. You have your gun, I have mine. Only thing is, I know how to use mine. So Michael Madsen pisses on the floor and on Ashton's shoes. Molly Shannon has his pill, sleeping pill. Ashton gives it to Michael Madsen, but then he has a seizure. And they're like, you're not supposed to give pills with booze. Then immediately they're ready to bury him. But of course he's not dead. He wakes up and then Andy Richter knocks him out. And it's like the bit of this chaos where they're trying to clean up the place and they're trying to get the owl back. And Kenan Thompson, he's in it because he was Tara Reid's boyfriend. Then some stuff happens and then he's walking back sad. And I don't know if he was trying to hang himself or just somehow he accidentally was getting hung. Like, by it got to the end, I'm like, I don't care. Just all this chaos. The house just messed up. The cops are there. Ashton thinks Terence Stamp is his big drug lord when it's really Andy Richter. Andy Richter admits it, but Ashton Kutcher still gets arrested. Andy Richter's going to bail out Ashton Kutcher and tells Tara Reid, you know what, that guy was a nice guy and he didn't do anything wrong. Terence Stamp overhears all this. Then this overlong bit where he gets gutter crap on his face and he falls and hits his nuts on a tree branch and a mouse flies off into his mouth. And after listening to his kids for 30 seconds, among the other stuff, he now has a change of heart and is like, nope, I'm not going to fire you. Instead, I'm going to give you a promotion. And it's like, bullshit. It would have been funnier if they went up and talked to Terence Stamp and you think, it's like, frankly, I don't give a fuck. And walked away. Like, that would have been funnier and more realistic. And then, I don't know, maybe Tara and Ashton work together. They go to a different firm. And her connections, like she's the daughter of this guy. And then they do good work. And then they compete. And friendly competition or unfriendly competition. But no, of course, Ashton and Tara get together. Everything works out fine. And the movie's over. And my stomach's rumbling because I haven't eaten yet. But as is, like, it's one of those movies that, yeah, I ran through the plot while you're running through the whole plot just to get a sense of, to give a sense to the people who have never seen it as to the events that happen, as to why I think this is just kind of a blasé, lazy comedy. It's not really, the events I didn't think were that funny. Some of the stuff was a bit bottom of the barrel, kind of lazy writing. It's just one of those things where it wasn't really that creative. It wasn't really that clever. I think the owl, to say I like owls. I know it's a strange comment to say, but I like owls. I feel like a lot more could have been done with that. Well, maybe the owl didn't, I mean, Terence Stamp says the owl couldn't fly because he was depressed about his mate, but maybe the owl starts liking Ashton and will only fly for him, but not for Terence Stamp. Well, I don't know. Maybe like at the end, the owl will fly, but it'll land on Ashton Kutcher's shoulder, or yeah, right here. It just feels like it flies off, then it just really doesn't really do anything. Maybe like a stupid scene where there's a neighborhood cat or dog and it grabs onto its thing. No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's like flying off with the dog, but then of course the dog's safe, or like, I don't know, some bit more hijinks with that. If you don't play that route, it doesn't do that. Molly Shannon's buddies, they don't really do a whole lot. They drop some plates They try to get this owl off the roof, but then they fall into the pool and they wreck something in the pool. But those characters were not really that memorable. Like there's no scenes I just sit there and go, man, that was a very funny scene they were in. Kenan Thompson, the first joke he has is, "What, you were expecting me to be with Tara Reid? What, because I'm fat?" Because they're supposed to think, oh, Ashton Kutcher, he's like being nervous. Because no, it has nothing to do with you being black. But before he could say that, he thinks that's what Kenan Thompson has a problem with. It's like, no, it's because I'm a bit wide. Because they repeat that joke later on, where Kenan Thompson, I forget where he's at, some Asian country, and he goes on the bus, and the guy's like, sit in the back. What? So he thinks it's because he's black. It's like, you're smoking, okay? Smokers go in the back. I mean, okay. I mean, that's what's hard to review about comedies, because comedies are subjective. What you find funny, I might not find funny. I may not find funny, and vice versa. But it's just like Michael Madsen was wasted in a nothing role. I mean, he's in it for 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. And the big memorable scene for him is him pissing on Ashton Kutcher's shoes. I say Terence Stamp was pretty funny, but then he disappears till the end of the film because he's off away on business or whatever. Tara Reid, I thought was fine here. Again, this is more of her comfortable playing field, not so much as a scientist in Alone in the Dark, the Uwe Boll film. Here, a bit more comfortable. Ashton Kutcher, like I said, I don't mind him. He's definitely a bit more subdued. I don't think it's really him. I think it's the script that let him down. Because this film did not do well. This film, it cost like $15 million and made like, I don't know, $18 million. I don't even know if that was in the US or worldwide. But usually you gotta make at least double your budget to maybe break even or something. It didn't even do that, so this was a complete utter bomb. I don't know why apparently my stomach don't like this movie either. If you didn't hear that, well, if you didn't hear it, okay. If you did hear it, a rumbling, it's my stomach rumbling because I haven't eaten yet. And it was not doing this. I swear it was not doing this until I started talking about this fucking film. So apparently my stomach didn't like this film. Apparently my stomach just pissed at me for watching the film. I'm like, it's not like the worst comedy ever. It's not one of the worst comedies ever. It's probably not even one of the worst comedies of 2003. Well, okay, maybe it is. Okay, calm down. If you want to know what I'm doing, I'm looking at my phone. Doesn't want to make sure on that box office, but I mean, he was in films that were doing okay. Like, I think The Butterfly Effect did okay. I think also Just Married. In fact, let's look up Ashton Kutcher movies. Why not? I know I shouldn't be playing with my phone, but it's better than playing with my dick. That's for the OnlyFans. I don't know. But come on. Fucking phone. Yep, that's what I want. I want an AI experience. I don't give a fuck about AI. Okay? Yes, I know it's going to be cold. It's cold everywhere. Even in Texas. Ashton Kutcher films. I know I should have done this earlier. This is such exciting business. So I guess he has done stuff lately, but I just haven't noticed them. But I guess he's done stuff lately. I want to look at his filmography. Now his early life, his filmography. So yeah, and he had a bit role in Reindeer Games, Dude, Where's My Car, Texas Rangers, which I reviewed recently. That was a big bomb. That was butchered by the Weinstein Company because that film was supposed to be a lot longer. It was supposed to be a lot more to it, and it was ripped apart and re-edited and all that stuff. So, and that was a complete bomb. Just Married, that was a box office hit because it cost $18 million and it made $101 million. So I'm sure that's why they thought this next one would be a hit. My Boss's Daughter. Well, actually, the same year, to be fair. But this film, 14 million, and it made 18 million worldwide. Opened at number 10 at the box office. Wow. Grossed 15 million in the U.S. 2 million for like about 2-3 million foreign. Wow. 18. So wow, yeah, that was a big bomb. Oh, Dimension Films. How ironic. Just like Texas Rangers was Dimension Films. Sorry, I gotta answer someone back. But yeah, so Just Married was a big hit. Cheaper by the Dozen was a hit. I'm not going to go through his whole fucking filmography. I just wanted to confirm that. And I'll be here like for 5 minutes looking at this goddamn phone. These are other comedies in 2003. Old School, Bruce Almighty, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Cheaper by the Dozen, Malibu's Most Wanted, that's a fun one. Daddy Daycare, I actually don't mind that one with Eddie Murphy. I thought that was cute. Anger Management, I thought that was actually one of the better, I almost want to say later Adam Sandler films. Kangaroo Jack I liked, but I have a bit of a, weirdly enough, a personal story with that film. Lost in Translation is good. Bad Santa is a classic. I mean, this is better than The Cat in the Hat. Dickie Roberts, former child star, I actually think that's pretty funny with David Spade. I actually like that one. So, action comedy, The Rundown, that's a fun one. So, there's a lot of laughs in Bad Boys too. So yeah, I mean, is it the worst comedy? No, The Cat in the Hat came out. Love Actually, I actually did not mind that film. That was a request I got. Scary Movie 3. Do I like this? I might give it more to Scary Movie 3, to be fair. I'm not a fan of Scary Movie 3. I know a lot of people are, but I may actually give it to Scary Movie 3 more than this. I think 4 and 5 are worse than this, but I probably would give it to Scary Movie 3 than I probably would, to be fair. So, anyway. But yeah, I just think it was a script that could have done a lot more, especially from the guy who did Airplane and Naked Gun. I do expect a bit better comedy-wise. It's not that witty. Like I said, the jokes kind of fall flat. The characters aren't really that memorable. I think people like Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall, they just disappear after the beginning. I don't know. I felt like a lot more could have been done with this. So, take that for what you will. But that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.